Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Diane, and today I'm going to show you how to make for yourself a nice bustier pattern with 5 panels just like this one. This is the bustier that I'm showing you today. So from the front, then I'm going to show you from the side. It's a 5-piece bustier. You have the center front unfold, the side front, side panel, side back and center back, and my opening is on the back. The 5-piece bustier allow you to adjust at more places, so it's exactly where you need to do the adjustment. To do your bustier construction, you're going to need your basic bodice front and back, also your waist measurement and your hip measurement. You're going to start by tracing a line across your paper, and you're going to put your front bodice, the center front, on that line. Then you could trace your front all around. The next thing you'll do is to trace the waistline. So use your square, put it on center front and touch the front waist. And you're going to trace all across the paper. Then do the same thing at the underarm point level. Now we're ready to do the first adjustment for the bustier, and it's to remove the ease from the block. I usually remove 3 centimeters on the half bustier, and I'm pretty happy with the result, so that's what I'm showing you today. It could be a little less or a little more, depends on what you want for the fit, because you know that if it's very tight, the volume you have is going to move somewhere else. So it might be the effect that you want, but for now, what I'm suggesting is 3 centimeters in. So from the underarm point of the front, you're going to measure 3 cm towards the center front. For the next step, you're going to take your back, overlap the underarm point with the 3 centimeter measurement, put your back waist on the waistline that you got, and your 90 degrees should touch also. Then you could trace your back all around. The next thing is on your front block. I'm going to ask you to do a little mark at the radius of the bust area, and this is about 7.5 centimeters for a B cup, and that's what we're starting with. So you could mark it wherever you want around the apex, and you could also use the side of the dart to mark your 7.5 centimeters. Then you're going to go with your awl and make a little hole in your pattern. Take your front again and just place it right over your trace line. Hold your pivot and trace your circumference all around with your pencil. The next thing we're going to do is to adjust to have it close to the body for the bustier area. So for this one, you're going to take your block again and put it back one more time, and we're going to double the shoulder dart value. That includes pretty much all the closure that we have to do. To double your dart value, you're going to do it by pivoting. You're going to hold your pivot and just bring your first notch over to the second one and indicate the second side of the dart. Now you could trace from that mark to the apex. For the basic bustier, I'm keeping the center front piece as it is, so from center front to apex. And for the 4 other panels, I'm going to ask you to divide from the apex in the front to the center back by 4 to get the seam line for the other panels. On this one, I found a measurement of 37.3, and I divided by 4 to find 9.3 centimeters for each panel. So from the first seam, I'm going to measure each 9.3 to find my seam. Then you could take your square and trace the line all the way down. I will also elongate my center back all the way down to the end of my paper. Now it's time to find the hip level, and it's as usual 21 centimeter below the waist. So I'm going to measure my 21 centimeter on the center front, and again with your square you're going to trace your hip line 90 degrees from the center front, touching the 21 centimeter, and trace all across. The last square line that we will do is from the apex. We have to square down. Place your square on the bust line and touch the apex to be able to square a line down at the pivot. Now you do have your 5 panel. Now for the next step, I'm going to ask you to go get the document I prepared for you to do the bustier construction. It's on my Wix side, and you're going to have the plan of the bustier, all the steps from the beginning to the end, and I prepare it in inches and centimeter. Then you have the plan with the different color for each piece, and the final pattern piece with notches, and the last little correction we will do. Now we are at number 6. It's time to measure your waist, and we're going to compare it with the waist that we have on the paper. For this example, I'm going to take a waist measurement of 69 centimeter. So half of my waist, because I'm doing half a plan, is going to be 34.5 centimeter. That's the measurement I need, and the plan is the actual measure is exactly like the bust measurement, so 47.5 centimeter. Now the calculation, you're going to take what you have minus what you need and find the extra. The extra is how much you need to adjust at the waist. My extra is 13 centimeter, but in the construction I usually keep the first dart, so the one for the bust, as it is. So it's a 4 centimeter dart. Out of my 13, I already have an adjustment of 4 centimeter. So I have 9 centimeter left to adjust in the 3 other lines. So I'm going to divide this 9 centimeter by 3 and place half of that 3 centimeter on each side of each line at the waist level. Now 1.5 on each side of each line at the waist level. Now, since the bustier is usually below the shoulder blade, I'm going to ask you to adjust at the bust level. On the first style line that we did on the back, we're going to go in or remove 5 millimeter on each side of that point. Then you could trace all the line to connect the waist with the bust level. Now we're going to do the second little calculation. It's for the hip measurement that is usually bigger than your bust measurement, and also we need to have the ease because we have to be able to sit with that garment. So I'm now at number 10. You have to take your hip measurement. The one that I'll be using is 99 centimeter. Then you need to add your ease needed. Here it's 4 centimeter for a total of 103 centimeter. Again, I'm working on a half pattern, so I divide this measurement by 2 and I get 51.5 centimeter for the hip level. Again, I'm gonna have to compare with what I have right now, and it's still 47.5 centimeter. So I take my actual hip measurement minus what I have right now. It's telling me how much I'm missing on this pattern. Here I'm missing 4 centimeter, and usually I don't have nothing on the front because the front is more flat. So I'm going to divide that 4 centimeter to place it on the 3 style line that I have. So if I divide 4 centimeter by 3, I get 1.3 centimeter that I'm going to distribute half on each side of each of the 3 style lines. So my 0.65 on each side for a total of 1.3. Now we're missing 2 things before connecting the dot. First, we're missing the level of the front dart, and it's usually halfway from the waist to the hip, so 10.5 centimeter right in the middle. The other thing that we'll be missing is the small hip line. So I want you to measure a line parallel to the bottom 5 centimeter higher. Now I'm going to ask you to trace a square line from the hip to the small hip on each one of these little points that we mark at the hip level. Now we're ready to connect the dot. Starting at the front, you're going to connect the pivot with both sides of the dart. And for the 3 style line, I'm going to ask you to trace from the waist point to the opposite side of the style line. So it's going to add the measurement that we need at the hip level. Now on the front, you could use the side of the dart as it is on your plan right now, or I like to do another little fitting under the bust to empty or to remove this excess of fabric that you have. And the way I do it is by removing 1 centimeter on each side of the line of the dart. Then you could connect this 1 centimeter to the waist, each side of the dart. Then we're going to connect the pivot to this 1 centimeter, doing a S-shaped curve with the small S under the breast right here. And this shape should be a continuation of this first line that we did. When you do the center front side, you have to continue the line of the first side of the dart. The curve is less than the other side. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you don't miss the next video. I'm going to show you how to trace out the pattern piece. Thanks for watching, and I see you next time.